What's up, guys? It's Will Johnson with Where to Live in Nashville. We're out here in White House, Tennessee. We're at the beautiful Moss Farm community. If you're looking for that perfect small town Tennessee vibe without being a million miles from the action, this is the spot. I'm standing in front of the Stanford model by Goodall Homes, and let me tell you, this floor plan is a total game changer for anyone who loves an open layout. Huge shout out to the listing agent, Erica Strader, for letting us check this one out. If you want to see this beauty in person, give me a shout at 615-265-1000. Let's go ahead inside. So I love touring model homes because you get to see a lot of the extras, a lot of the bells and whistles. So one thing I'm noticing is, one, you've got a great mixture of the brick and the hardy board on the outside here. You do have a front porch, and they've got it set up very well. You've got room for 2 chairs and a table, which is what really most people would ever need or ever use. You do have dual lights up here, one for the entryway and one if you're sitting a little bit further down. So if you're hanging out in the evening, you've got a little bit of extra light or just want to view what's going on. So this floor plan really is built for entertaining. So you've got 2 choices when you're doing a house. Let's start off by kind of getting a view of the kitchen here. And we'll go in the kitchen a little bit more detail here shortly, but just want to give you a 360 of the main living area. And then we'll start back from the beginning. But yeah, I mean, you've got 2 choices when you're buying a house. You can either get a house where you've got the bedrooms upstairs, and this is the only bedroom that's downstairs, and this is not the master. So if you've got most of the bedrooms upstairs, which this one does, that means you've got a whole lot of entertaining space downstairs. So if you like to have people over, or you just like to have, a bigger living space, a little bit bigger kitchen area, especially for the size, square footage of the house, then that's the way to do it. You have your bedrooms upstairs, especially your master, which, if you're wanting a true master suite, it takes up some space. So if that space is upstairs, then you've got more room to party like a rock star downstairs. So, but I'm giving you a little bit of a close-up. Again, we normally don't get to do this, but we're taking a little bit of extra time to do this for those of you that want to pause and maybe check some of this stuff out. So again, the new Goodall, as you've seen in some of our villa tours, you're seeing some of the extra trim work in here as well. It carries over. We do have a full bath on the main, so a lot of times you only expect to see that half bath. But if you've got someone downstairs that's using that as a bedroom, it is nice to be able to have, the full bath that they can just walk right on over and do whatever they need to do. Nice little touch. So as you're first coming in, we've got the garage space over here. We've got a drop zone. Well done. We've got the extra hooks, a little bit of trim work, some wainscoting, and a space for your shoes down below, and a little bit of a bench to sit on. So as far as a coat closet goes, this is, really almost more of a storage closet. And you can see it does have the smart connection center for your home. So if you like technology, which even if you don't use it, it's nice to have, or if you've got people coming to work on your house, for them to have easy access to it. So I'll let you check out the garage in here. Love how the house is talking to me. Makes me feel welcome. But yeah, you do have your electric panel out here as well. And yeah, just wanted to give you a little bit of a view of the garage. Pretty standard garage, but still wanted you to be able to see that for yourself in person. All right, so let's go a little bit more detail into the kitchen. So you can see that you've got seating for 3 here very comfortably. Those are a little bit wider than normal chairs there. And you've got the fridge, the built-in oven, the built-in microwave, all right next to your cooktop area. So you've got the cabinet space that is a little bit taller cabinets. but you've also got the drawers, which is an upgrade. If you've ever done a brand new construction and they show you the bill of just regular cabinets versus the pull-out drawers, the drawers do add a fair amount of expense. But man, once you have them, it's hard to go back. So I like that you've got a mix of the traditional cabinets, you've got some drawers underneath the oven here, and then you've got some drawers underneath, over here as well. So electric cooktop, you do have your vent fan overhead, and these are tall. These go almost all the way to the ceiling, and we'll have a good amount of storage in there. So as far as on the other side of the island here, so you do have your dishwasher, your traditional 2 cabinets underneath the sink, but you've got an extra drawer and an extra space over here to pull out to be able to hide your trash cans. So it's a little touch, but normally you see this more in higher price point homes. But Goodall, again, is looking to pack features in for a very, very comfortable price point. So do you have a pantry? Yes, ladies and gentlemen. You want some breakfast? We got some Cheerios, some Rice Krispie here. If it's lunchtime, who wants to have some spaghetti with me? We can maybe do some soup, or how about some tacos? If it's Tuesday, let's do some tacos. Have some Taco Tuesday. So, but even in the pantry, you do have that LVP flooring, which I'm a big fan of. I prefer it personally over hardwoods, and that, people are pretty adamant about that, about how, they feel one way or the other, but I like the low maintenance. If it gets wet, if it, it's super easy to be able to clean, it doesn't scratch, it's much more challenging to scratch. So, I'm a little bit more of a fan of the LPP. So, I like that the door here going outside has a little bit of extra light. You've got plenty of windows here for lots of light. And this will give you, well, we're gonna wait. We can't give you everything right up front, but we'll do an outside at the very end, like we traditionally do, to be able to show you that. But this is a bit of an upgrade. So instead of like a regular, gas fireplace, to have, this is a little bit more sexy, a little bit more upscale, and about as low maintenance as it gets as far as, a fireplace goes. So, but I do like that they put the additional, wood up here just to differentiate that space. And it looks like you've got, some shiplap on the back there on the wall. It almost turns it into somewhat of an accent wall, but it makes it, no mistake, it's very much a feature wall. So let me step back in the corner here to give you an idea of scale of the living space. So you've got a sectional here with seating for 6. And that's most of what you're gonna have. But you've got, some additional space over here. I think they've used that very well for staging purposes. So if you've got some books or some other things, you've got board games, you've got a storage space over there that you can put it. So, all right. So let's head on upstairs. First of all, speaking of stairs, these are incredibly well tucked away. I mean, you only basically see 3 stairs, even from the living room, much less, you don't obviously see any from the entrance, but only 3 from the living room. And, all right, as we're going up the stairs, you do have wood treads. Carpet on the upstairs, which I'm a fan of carpet on the 2nd level. It just makes it quieter for people down below. And, it's comfortable on your feet. So we're gonna check out all the bedrooms up here, and we'll start off, why don't we go big to begin with? We'll go right towards the master. I love the wainscoting that they've got on that back wall. It just, picks it up a little bit, makes it say, hey, differentiates it from some of the other rooms. It makes it look super nice. But look how wide this room is. Like, this is a king size bed, and you've got 2 really large side tables. You've got a good size piece of furniture here, a good dresser, and a chair. And look at all of this room that you've got before you hit the wall over here. So you're not going to feel cramped in here at all. You do see some of that extra trim work in here, which, you know, makes a difference. All right, let's head into the master bath. So you do have both tub and a shower. So you've got a full-size tub. Sometimes when they do these tub shower combinations, the tub is too small for anybody to actually be able to use it. This one is usable. And I do like, this is something small too, but I like that they put a little bit of tile around there because you're gonna splash some while you're in the tub. And so it, you know, it adds a little layer of protection so you're not hitting the drywall with the bubbles or whatever that you've got in your tub. This is also good, so you don't have to worry, you know, about, has anybody seen in the bathroom the fact that this is you know, stained, or that this is you know, has a material on it to where you can't see through. It's almost, you know, you get the light, but you get the privacy as well. So walk-in shower, I would say that this is big enough for 2 people. Let's open it up here and take a look. So I want to kind of do a little bit of a close-up on the fixtures that are in here. And you do have a little space where you can put your shampoo. They've got that staged very well. So we'll do a little bit of a 360 in here just to show you. You do have a little bit of a step up, but I don't think that that would bother most people. And it does help to keep the water from running out. So very modest step up. And let's check out the closet. So true master closet, lots of space to hang your goodies. Goes all the way around. And I mean, honestly, this is almost big enough. This closet is almost big enough to where you could put a small island down in the middle of it to be able to put, you know, additional clothes, or just if you're wanting to fold things, that sort of thing. So just to give you an idea of the scale. And I always like this. It's, again, it's another small detail, but having a vent in the closet, because sometimes the temperatures can get way off. So the amount of vents that they put in the house, every room that I've walked into has been incredibly comfortable. You do have a door for the water closet, for those of you who are wondering about that. And yeah, look at the cute little thing that they put on top there. So, but I'm also a fan when you've got the dual sinks to have this extra set of drawers down the middle. It just, you know, who doesn't like storage? And it just makes it easier to be able to keep everything organized. So this upstairs living area, one, look at the wainscoting that's on the back wall. I like that they painted this a different color. Also, this green is very popular right now. Makes it pop. But something you may not have noticed, potentially from just looking at the pictures, is this does have a closet back here. So no, this isn't a bedroom because it doesn't have walls. Could it be a loft type bedroom in a pinch? Absolutely, it could be. So yeah, because I mean, this is, you know, literally, you've got a walk-in closet here. But for most people, if you were going to make this into somewhat of a home theater up here, you could put your electronic equipment in here. You could put your board games in here. If you wanted an upstairs, vacuum, those sorts of, you could put all of that up there. So you do have a full bath up here, but this is an intelligent full bath, right? So you've got the 2 sinks. So you can have 2 people that are getting ready, because you do have the master, but you've also got 2 more bedrooms that are up here. So the likelihood of both people in those bedrooms wanting to use the bathroom at the same time is probably high, especially if you've got kids. Don't we all want what somebody else has sometimes? So if somebody's in the bathroom, you're like, oh, that's the exact time that I wanted to be in the bathroom. So this is a full bath, shower tub combination, and toilet in here. But what's nice is that you could have one of the kids taking a shower and the other, you know, because you've got a door in between here, that you can close that door, and the other can be, you know, brushing their teeth, brushing their hair, putting on their makeup, whatever they want to do. And so it's very functional for two people to be able to use that bedroom. It makes sense too, with all the bedrooms being up here, that you've got the laundry room upstairs. And this is more than big enough for the oversized washer and dryers that we see a lot of people using nowadays. But you've got this neat little nook over here. This would be so easy to be able to put some shelves in. You've got a laundry basket here, which is a great use of that space. I mean, that's probably what most people would do, is to have your laundry basket sitting there so it's tucked out of the way. But you could put some shelving up here that, you know, whatever that you would want to put there, you could. So let's take a look at the other two bedrooms that are up here. So I like what Goodall did just with the paint colors. I mean, this is almost like a Tiffany blue, super pretty. And this is borderline big enough to be a king size, like, or you know, a master bedroom. That's how big this bedroom is. So I'll get back in the other corner over here, just to give you a little look-see. So you've got a bedside table, full-size dresser over here, and plenty of room to walk through at the end of the bed. And you do have a walk-in closet as well, so nobody feels shortchanged. And even in the smaller closets, guys, and you start to notice this when you start touring homes yourselves and you start looking for homes, a lot of them won't have that, and you're like, oh, this bedroom won't ever get cool, or it won't ever get warm enough. Having those extra vents in there can make a difference. So they're obviously in the model home using this to show all the different types of floor tiles, the different types of cabinets and whatnot, but this would normally be a bedroom. So I'll get back in the corner here to give you an idea of the scale. So this is a very modest sized bedroom. I would say that you could probably fit a twin bed in here comfortably, but I will also say it's a little bit harder to gauge because of the amount of furniture and the amount of things that are already in here. So more of a traditional closet for this one. There we go. And now let's go check out the outside. For those of you that want to keep the party going and don't just party on the inside of the house, but want to party on the outside. Oh, one small detail I almost missed or didn't show you. So in that loft area, you do have some areas on the floor where you can, you know, plug in your electric, which, you know, you don't have a wall along here. So if you had a lamp, or if you had even a couch, maybe the couch, let me walk back up to do a better description of this. So if along basically where this railing is, you had the couch along here and maybe had the television up along that wall, then you've still got a spot where you could plug in your lamp, be able to charge your phone, do whatever you wanted to do. So because along the more traditional walls, you do have some that are in the side or along more or less the floorboards. But to have this over here in the floor gives a lot more flexibility on how you could set up that room. So small detail, it may not even be something that you would notice at first, but when you don't have it, you'd be like, oh, I wish that this was here. So just doing the little extras to show you, hey, they did think to put that there. All right. So the flow from the kitchen to be able to head outside works very well. And I like how they put the island here because you've got plenty of room to still open up this door. So this is a large covered porch area, and you can see up top, and we've seen this more with some of these Goodall homes, where they have, you know, it follows the roof line. Man, that's just, I don't know. It just makes it feel more open, more airy. And you've got enough room, probably, if you were gonna put it along one of these walls, which you probably would have to put it right between the door and this window, you've got enough room for probably a 65-inch TV, which would be more than big enough for the outside here, which bodes well because you've got the electric outlet right below there. But a lot of concrete. And I think one thing that Goodall does well as well is, like, when they pick out their communities, they do a good job of finding more level lots. So, I mean, we're in Tennessee, right? So you're gonna have some that are rolling hills and whatnot, but this is a very level lot. You're not gonna have trouble if you mow your own lawn, any hills, or worry about the lawnmower tipping over. No problem at all. It does have just a little bit of a step up, which isn't bad because sometimes we can get some pretty big rains that come through. And so you've got the step up here from the lawn, which is not big, but it's big enough to keep water from coming in. And then, you know, God forbid if water did start to get on the patio area, you've got another little layer of protection here to keep it from coming in the house. But even if it did come in with that LVP flooring, you've got less to worry about than what some would have. So I just want to say thank you very much for hanging out with us today, for checking out another home tour. We want to give you the vibe so you can find your tribe. And whether it's in one of the suburbs like White House, or whether, you know, we're checking out stuff in East Nashville, the Belmead area, all of the 21 areas of Nashville, we will have home tours at different price points to be able to show you kind of what you can get for your money. But we've also got to hit some of the suburbs, because not everybody can live in Nashville. So some people want to live in a beautiful, wonderful town that's absolutely exploding, like White House. So thank you again, Erica, for allowing us to do this home tour today. Huge shout out to you. And yeah, be sure to like, subscribe. Feel free to leave some comments. And God bless, and hope you have a great day. Thanks so much.